This is like some big new step, right?
This
So
is.
we're doing this. This is Mike Freeman, Superintendent Principal at Grant Elementary School, and I'm excited to be here. I have a special guest. You might know Mrs. Eileen Davis. She's
Hello.
our teacher there in the Learning Lab, an intervention teacher here at Grant School. We're going to try something new. As you know, there's a lot of things happening at Grant School, so we're going to try to stream on a regular basis during the week some of the cool programs and things that are coming out of Grant School. And speaking of cool things that are coming out of Grant School, a lot of great things are happening in the area of reading, especially in Eileen's world in the Learning Lab. You want to talk a little bit about what Learning Lab is for people that may not know?
Absolutely.
What that is?
So the Learning Lab is for everyone. We work with students in English language arts and in math, and particularly with students who are struggling in the area of reading. We match students with programs, give them a little boost, give them some support in areas of need. And we also have all the students come through in kindergarten through third, and we help assess them throughout the year, make sure their reading is on track and they're showing growth.
So Eileen's part of our core team. We get together and we talk kids, and frequently we're looking at progress monitoring and seeing and making sure that what we're doing for students is working, whether that's in the classroom, whether that's in the Learning Lab, or in our special education programs. We're always trying to make sure that what we're doing is working. Today, we really want to talk to you about something that I'm excited about. Working with Eileen, we do from time to time meet with parents. In those parent conferences, we are trying to put together a plan. We think every kid can learn. We know every kid can learn, but we know that every kid has a code, right? Every kid is a Rubik's Cube, and sometimes we need to dial in the right services and programs to help students be successful. What might work for a first grader might not work for a third grader, might not work for a sixth grader, right? So we're always looking for cool tools, and we found a great one. I was hanging out with Eileen in one of our meetings, and she mentioned Learning Ally.
I did.
Right? Learning Ally. What is that?
So I mentioned Learning Ally because my son actually uses it. He's used it for 2 years. He has dyslexia, and it was one of those tools that helped him access books that were at his grade level that he couldn't access necessarily by himself. Even if he could decode it, it was so much effort on his part that understanding it became difficult. And so we were pointed in the direction of Learning Ally, and he was able to listen to books, but not just listen like having it read to you. Typically with programs, it'll sound like a robot.
Right.
Yeah, so the computer is reading it to you. This is all human voice. So there's over 80,000 audiobooks in it, and they're all volunteers. It was originally created for the blind community. And so they all of a sudden realized this is actually helping people with reading disabilities, helping people who are having a hard time accessing and comprehending text.
80,000 titles.
80,000,
Huh.
yeah.
Okay.
And it's you can search by grade level. So you can search from first grade up through 12th grade. There's actually textbooks that are downloaded in it. You can search by subject, interest level. It's fantastic. So my son uses it not only for homework, but in class, follows along with texts that teachers are assigning, and then also for reading for enjoyment. So
like I'm thinking of fifth grade. Fifth grade is reading Phantom Tollbooth right now.
Yep.
If that's a difficult read, right?
It is
That's
a tough
difficult
book.
read, and reading obviously is a complex thing. You've got to be able to decode it.
Right.
You got to be able to decode it in a way where there's some fluency, so that as they read, they see the picture in their brain of like a movie, right?
Right.
So if a particular student might be struggling with that process, might be struggling in this class read with comprehension, with the ability to decode at an appropriate speed so that they can get that picture, then Learning Ally might be a resource for them.
Absolutely, and it also helps them access all of the vocabulary and understanding the meaning of something. Typically when a student is reading a book that is a little higher than their level or something that they can't decode on their own, they're having a hard time extracting the meaning from it. When you ask a child who's had a story read to them, either by a parent or by a teacher, they'll say, "Oh, I enjoyed that so much. That was so much fun," because they can hear the meaning and the inflection that the teacher is injecting into the story. So this does the same. They're hearing they're hearing it read the way it's supposed to be read.
And I love that one of my favorite things about being in grant school classrooms is when the classroom teacher's making that book come alive.
Absolutely.
Right. I still remember fifth grade. My fifth grade teacher, Mr. Purdy, if you're out there, right? Summer of the Monkeys, and that book came alive as we read that book. And really, we want reading to come alive for kids.
Absolutely.
Because when it does, parents' job is easier, right? Librarians' jobs are easier. Teachers' jobs are easier. When it's a struggle,
absolutely,
and students look at books as tedious, or they don't feel like they have the support to get through the books, or even worse, when they go into the library and they see really cool books, but they know it's out of reach.
Right, and we want students to love reading. Mm-hmm. And the question that I was asked once, somebody said, well, if it's reading it to them, is a child actually reading?
Good question.
And the answer is yes, absolutely, they're actually reading. The nice thing about the program as well is they give you the text on most of the books, so it reads like a Kindle. Students can certainly get assigned a book or check out a book from the library, but if they don't have access to that book, the book is already in the program, and they follow along with it as they read. So I tell students, we don't want you just listening to it like an audiobook in the car. Mm-hmm. You're reading along with it, but it is absolutely reading, and it's more enjoyable that way for a lot of students.
Well, thank you for this tool. As a district, we're about safety. We're about student achievement, and mm-hmm. student achievement has a lot to do with performing at grade level, whether that's typing or math or reading. We're also talking about staff development, and we're looking at community engagement. This is an opportunity for us to engage with the community so that we can connect them with a great tool. I love the idea that we're always out there looking for things to add to our toolbox. Learning Ally has been a great addition. We've actually seen some pretty cool results already. You've had some kids already in the Learning Lab.
I've set it up with several students in grades TK up through 6th so far, and I had 3 5th grade students that came in, 3 5th grade students who said, I don't want to read. I don't like to read. I don't want to check out books.
Maybe
it was a
boys.
Struggle for me. They were boys.
They might have been boys.
And I set them up an account. I showed them what was available. The first 15 minutes, they just started loading their bookshelf with all these books they'd always been wanting to read that they weren't checking out because they felt like they couldn't read them. And when it was time to send them back to class, the 3 of them said, "Can we stay and read?" And I was like, yes, you can stay and read.
Exactly,
absolutely. And it was that's exactly why this program works so well for kids. It gets them excited to read, it keeps them reading, and it also tracks. It tracks their minutes, it tracks mm-hmm. their books read, so it's a great way for them to watch their progress and see how they're increasing their reading fluency.
So Learning Ally at Grant School looks like this. We had that conversation. You were talking to me about the tool that mm-hmm. that you found great use for you and your student. And we started looking at, okay, well, how can we get it here, right? Because I think it was something that is available out there for parents to purchase on a private use.
Definitely.
We actually went out and got a site license.
Which is amazing.
Yeah, that's so great. And we
are
paid with Learning Ally through 1920 school year. Mm-hmm. And so we are now in the process of like, okay, we have a great thing. How can we get information about this great thing into the hands of some parents that might be struggling with how do I support, you might be a parent that loves reading. I love reading, and you might be looking at how can I get my kid to love reading, and Learning Ally is a great thing. So if your student is struggling with the reading process, right, whether that's decoding, mm-hmm. The fluency might be a little slower. Again, reading's complicated. Reading's a complex thing. If you have decoding, fluency, comprehension, mm-hmm. Phonemic awareness, if you have concerns and you're thinking that Learning Ally might be a great tool, what can they do? What next steps can they take?
So I think you put a link in the Facebook profile.
We will.
There is a ticket that you can fill out on a Google form to request more information. And once I have your student's name or your child's name and teacher, we can determine eligibility, and if they qualify, we'll get them an account, get them started, and I will train them. The nicest thing about Learning Ally is it's not just for school. They can set up an account at home. You can set it up on an iPhone, an iPad, computer. Once they have their account, they have access on any device. Yeah, and it's a fantastic tool, and they have it for summertime too.
And it's web-based, right?
It's
so
web-based.
It's not downloaded content or storage dependent?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Once they open up their link, They read one book at a time for downloading, but they can put as many books in their bookshelf as they want.
God, that's very exciting. Do we have something? Maybe we want to pull up something?
I just, real quick, just to show you what it looks like for a student. This is Wonder. I went ahead and pulled it up. This would be a student's view, and it's so awesome. They have these listening capabilities. So under the headphones, you can change the speed, you can change the volume. Again, these are all human voices. So like with Wonder, every chapter is told from a different viewpoint. Well, when Augie speaks, it's a young boy. When it's his sister, it's a young girl. So it really brings to life these stories. So I just wanted to give you a sample. This is Wonder. And this is what some of these books sound like.
I know I'm not an ordinary 10-year-old kid. I mean, sure, I do ordinary things. I eat ice cream. I ride my bike. I play ball. I have an Xbox.
So that gives you a little bit of an indication. It really, it's just so nice to listen to, and it brings you into that story. And then it highlights the text for you. So again, the students are following along. If you are worried about screen time, some parents say their kids' eyes get tired when they read. Hold the book. My son loves to hold the book and listen
and follow along.
And follow along in the text. And again, I can show students how to set those up. I've already met with several parents who've come in and gotten their account set up. And the feedback is fabulous. They're saying my kids are reading and they hadn't been reading on their own before. So
to recap, awesome. For students that do have some reading struggles, parents, what we'll do is we will embed the link into the comment that goes with this art. This right now is being streamed live. We will embed it as a comment into the archived presentation. 80,000 titles. Great human, like real person voice, right?
Absolutely.
So you don't have the robot voice. It does have that engagement. You can read along with the program, and it is available here through 2019-20. The district has purchased a site subscription.
Yep.
So if the student qualifies, then we would be able to provide those services in grant school classrooms and anywhere the student can
and
get
their teachers also
connection.
have access to their account. So if a teacher is assigning a book whole class, they can put it on the student's bookshelf. I can put books on the student's bookshelf, and then the students can do it on their own. So hopefully they're reading lots of different books. They have the books they're assigned, and then the books they want to read for pleasure. So.
And it's new, so if you do go to your classroom, if you go to your kid's teacher and ask them about Learning Ally, they may have some questions on it. We're trying to get the information out to teachers as well. And I don't know if you've had an opportunity to swing by Mrs. Davis's world in the Learning Lab. It is a great space. It is a bigger space this year. We've expanded it, trying to provide more services. I heard at the beginning, we provide reading. We provide math support services as well.
We have writing groups that we've got going.
Small groups. Ideally presenting intensive interventions for younger children with the idea that we get them up to grade level while that gap is smaller. So thank you for everything you do in the Learning Lab.
Thank you for the subscription.
You know what, we are looking for what works, and we're seeing some great results early on with this program. So again, information will be submitted. There'll be a link for a ticket sign up in the comment. Stephanie will work her magic on Facebook, and we'll get that.
She's working all kinds of magic, I think, right now.
Can you make us ninjas right now?
We want to be the ninjas.
Okay.
Only one of us might be a ninja.
So now, Mr. Freeman is switching back and forth.
Okay. Thank you. Go Cougars.
Thank you.